The hip-hop world has just been shaken to its core. Papoose, the man who was once praised as the definition of loyalty. The devoted husband who held Remy Ma down through prison, heartbreak, and every storm has been brought to his knees. And the woman who exposed him isn't Remy, isn't a rival rapperitz, none other than Claressa Shields, the undefeated boxing champion who has been linked to Papoose in whispers and rumors for months. Now those whispers are over. Claressa didn't just hint, she didn't just tease, she exposed everything. And the fallout. Papoose broke down in a way that left insiders stunned. Cameras scrambling and fans absolutely speechless. According to explosive leaks, Claressa went public with private conversations, shocking receipts, and details about her alleged connection to Papoose that left no room for denial. Witnesses claim Papoose collapsed under the weight of the scandal, breaking into tears in front of castmates, admitting that the pressure of living a double life had finally destroyed him. Social media erupted instantly. Hashtags like hashtag PAPOOSE exposed, hashtag CLARESSA leaks, and hashtag Remy responds began trending within minutes. Fans flooded timelines torn between pity for Papoose and fury at what this means for Remy Ma, a woman who fought so hard to rebuild her life and her marriage. But here's the shocking part. Insiders say what Claressa revealed wasn't just about Papoose. It was about secrets that could tear down everything we thought we knew about one of hip-hop's most loyal couples for years. Papoose and Remy Ma were considered the gold standard of hip-hop love. When Remy was sentenced to prison, it was Papoose who stood by her, refusing to abandon her side. While others mocked him, calling him naive for waiting, he proudly wore the crown of loyalty. Fans nicknamed him the King of Black Love, and every interview, every love and hip-hop scene reinforced the same idea. If anyone was proof true loyalty still existed in hip-hop, it was Papoose. When Remy came home, the world celebrated them. Their wedding was televised, their family moments shared with millions, their bond painted as unshakable. They weren't just a couple, they were an image, an example that hip-hop desperately needed. For years, Papoose's devotion became a brand in itself. Songs, appearances, even interviews, everything about him screamed loyalty. But behind that perfect narrative, insiders whispered about cracks. While Remy focused on rebuilding her career and navigating motherhood, Papoose quietly struggled with being in her shadow. His music career hadn't exploded the way fans once expected. And being Remy's husband became both his pride and his prison. Friends claimed he longed for validation outside of his marriage, a chance to prove he was more than just a supporting character in her story. That's where Claressa Shields entered the picture. The undefeated boxing champion, known as the greatest woman of all time, was as fiery as she was talented. With her knockout punches inside the ring and her unfiltered mouth outside of it, Claressa was no stranger to controversy. She commanded respect wherever she went. Bold, unapologetic, powerful, she embodied everything Papoose seemed to crave: attention, strength, and admiration. Rumors of their connection started quietly. A photo of them together backstage at an event sparked whispers. Claressa's cryptic Instagram captions fueled speculation. Papoose's late-night appearances at boxing matches raised eyebrows. Still, most dismissed it as harmless till the whispers got louder. By 2024, blogs began hinting at something deeper. One outlet claimed Claressa and Papoose were seen at a private dinner in Detroit. Another suggested that Remy and Papoose had quietly separated, even though they denied it. But nothing was ever confirmed until now. Because Claressa didn't just drop hints, anymore. She exposed everything, according to explosive leaks. Claressa went public with intimate details about her alleged connection to Papoose. Screenshots of private conversations, alleged recordings, and inside stories that no outsider should have known began circulating online. The narrative was no longer about Papoose being hip-hop's loyalty king. It was about whether his entire brand had been built on a lie. And what made it worse? Insiders say Claressa wasn't doing this out of spite, she was doing it because she felt silenced. One source close to her claimed Claressa said she was tired of hiding. She told people she wasn't going to let Papoose keep her in the shadows. She wanted the world to know the truth. The fallout was instant for fans. The idea that Papoose, the man who became the blueprint for loyalty, could have been living a double life was earth-shattering. For Remy, it wasn't just betrayal, it was humiliation. Because everything she had defended, everything she had believed in, had just been ripped apart in front of millions, and for Papoose. Witnesses say the moment the news broke, he broke too. According to leaks, Papoose collapsed in tears when confronted by the truth Claressa had revealed. He reportedly admitted he couldn't handle the weight. Anymore, the image of loyalty versus the reality of temptation had crushed him. Castmates and insiders claimed he sobbed backstage, repeating, "I didn't mean for it to go this far." The king of loyalty broken down. Claressa Shields, unapologetic, standing tall, and Remy Ma, silent for now, but whispers say her silence won't last. Because Claressa's exposé might have revealed more than just a fling yet, may have exposed secrets so deep they could destroy everything Papoose and Remy built. The internet had already been buzzing with whispers. But when Claressa Shields finally decided to go public, she didn't come with half-baked rumors. She came with receipts, screenshots, voice notes, and cryptic photos that, once revealed, left fans speechless. It started with a series of alleged text messages Claressa posted to her close friends on Instagram before they leaked. The messages, allegedly from Papoose. Read: Papoose, I feel invisible at home. Do you see me? For me, Claressa? Claressa. So why stay if you're unhappy? Papoose, because the world expects me to be the loyalty king. If I leave, I'm a fraud. But when I'm with you, I feel alive. The messages spread like wildfire. Fans were stunned that Papoose, the same man who had spent years branding himself as the ultimate loyal husband, was allegedly confessing unhappiness behind the scenes. The phrase loyalty king became a sarcastic meme overnight, with fans posting clown emojis next to it. But the texts were just the beginning. Claressa doubled down by dropping what appeared to be a recorded phone call. In the audio, a voice, sounding like Papoose, whispered, "I can't let Remy know about us. She'll lose it, but I can't let you go either." The voice cracked with emotion, and by the end of the clip, you could hear muffled sobbing. That one clip shattered the internet. Fans rushed to Twitter. If this is real, Papoose been lying to us all. Not the loyalty king crying to his side chick. Remy held him down for years, and this is how he repays her. Meanwhile, Papoose's camp scrambled. Insiders whispered he was furious at Claressa, but emotionally broken. During a live taping, cameras allegedly caught him slumped in a chair, head in his hands, crying uncontrollably. A producer tried to console him, but he reportedly muttered through tears, "I never wanted this out. I can't breathe under all this pressure," for a man always portrayed as strong and composed. Seeing Papoose unravel shook everyone. And then came the first twist. Just when fans thought the scandal couldn't get any worse, Claressa dropped a bombshell during an Instagram live. Looking directly into the camera, she said, "Y'all want to call me the villain? Fine, but I wasn't hiding. He was. And let me be clear, me knew more than y'all think. The live sent shockwaves through the culture. Claressa, suggesting Remy had already known about her and Papoose. Did this mean Remy had been complicit in keeping the image of the perfect marriage alive, even while cracks were forming? Comments poured in instantly. Wait, so Remy knew? Remy knew? Why keep up the act? This is worse than cheating. This is a cover-up. Insiders whispered that Remy had indeed confronted Papoose months ago about inappropriate closeness with Claressa, but chose to stay silent to protect their public image. According to one source, Remy didn't want the brand ruined. Their marriage is tied to money, shows, and appearances. Exposing this would destroy everything. True, Claressa hadn't just exposed Papoose, she had exposed the entire myth of Remy and Pap as hip-hop's loyalty couple. The brand fans worshipped wasn't real, it was a performance. Papoose's breakdown deepened after the twist. According to leaks, he broke down backstage, crying to producers, "I never wanted to hurt Remy. I never wanted to lose Claressa either. I'm trapped." His words painted him not as a villain, but as a man crumbling under the weight of his own lies. But Claressa wasn't done. She ended her live with a chilling statement. "This is only part one. If he keeps denying me, I'll show y'all everything." That threat lit the internet on fire. What else could she possibly have? Videos? Photos? More recordings? Fans begged for the next drop, while others prayed it wouldn't come, fearing what it could do to Remy. By the end of the week, the narrative had flipped upside down. Papoose wasn't the loyalty king anymore. He was a broken man, caught between two powerful women, both of whom had the power to destroy his reputation. Claressa had gone from a rumored side character to the woman who shattered an empire with a few receipts. And Remy, her silence was louder than any words. The first twist was clear. This wasn't just an affair. This was a cover-up that reached deeper than anyone imagined. And the truth, according to insiders, was only beginning to unravel. When Claressa Shields said this is only part one, nobody believed she had more. But the very next day, she proved the world wrong. She posted a cryptic tweet. "Loyalty is a mask. I'm about to rip it off." Within minutes, she went live again, this time armed with even heavier evidence. First came the screenshots of flight confirmations. The documents showed tickets allegedly purchased under Papoose's legal name, booked for trips to Detroit the same weekends Claressa had major fights scheduled. Fans connected the dots instantly. While Remy was posting family moments, Papoose was allegedly flying out to support Claressa behind the scenes. Then she dropped something no one expected, a photo. It wasn't scandalous in the traditional sense, but its intimacy spoke volumes. In the picture, Papoose sat in a locker room, his hand on Claressa's shoulder, whispering in her ear. The smile on her face wasn't the grin of a boxer after a fight. It was the smile of a woman who felt adored. The internet melted. Fans rushed to Twitter and Instagram. So he wasn't just watching her fight. He was part of her corner. Remy held him down through prison, and he held Claressa down in secret. This photo is louder than any text. But Claressa wasn't done. She dropped a voicemail recording allegedly from Papoose, his voice trembling. "I'm proud of you, baby. You inspire me in ways I can't explain. Don't let nobody take that from us." The word baby sent shockwaves. This wasn't platonic support. This was intimacy. Papoose's image unraveled further. For years, fans had defended him as the symbol of loyalty. Now the receipts painted him as a man torn between image and reality. And the escalation didn't stop at Claressa. Industry voices jumped in. Charlemagne thought God blasted him on The Breakfast Club. All that time we praised Pap as the most loyal man in hip-hop. Now it looks like we were praising a myth. This ain't loyalty, it's deception. 50 Cent, as expected, had a field day. He posted a meme of Papoose crying with a caption, "When the loyalty points expire." It went viral instantly. Even Fat Joe, usually protective of Remy, couldn't hold back, saying on IG Live, "Remy's my sister. She didn't deserve this." Loyalty ain't supposed to be conditional. Meanwhile, Remy's silence grew deafening. Fans spammed her socials with comments. "Say something, Queen. We stand with you." But no statement came. Instead, insiders whispered she had canceled appearances and gone into hiding. One source close to her claimed, "Remy is devastated. This isn't just about cheating, it's about humiliation." The shocking reveal came days later, when Claressa leaked what she called the truth they don't want you to see. Was an alleged contract between Papoose and VH1 producers. outlining how his image as the loyal husband was to be reinforced for marketing purposes. Claressa claimed the contract proved Remy and Papoose's marriage wasn't just love it. Was business. Fans lost their minds? If true, the brand of loyalty had been manufactured, protected, and monetized for years. One viral tweet read, "So we weren't watching a love story. We were watching a storyline." Another added, "Remy and Pap weren't just protecting their marriage, they were protecting a bag." The narrative flipped again. Was Papoose truly a villain, or was he trapped in a machine that forced him to play the role of loyalty king while privately crumbling? Claressa fueled the fire by ending her live with one more chilling tease. "Y'all still don't know the worst part. The real betrayal isn't what he did to Remy, it's what he did to me." That one line sent the internet into hysteria. Did Papoose promise Claressa something and pull away? Did he lead her on while clinging to Remy for public image? Was there another secret entirely? By the end of the week, the scandal wasn't just about infidelity anymore. It was about manipulation, branding, and betrayal on multiple levels. Claressa had exposed cracks in a love story that fans thought was untouchable. Papoose, once untouchable, was now seen as a broken man hiding behind an image. And Remy, she had become the silent victim in a circus she never asked for. But the cliffhanger remained. What did Claressa mean when she said the real betrayal was against her? Fans couldn't stop speculating. Some believed Pap had promised to leave Remy for Claressa, but backed out. Others thought he had used her as an escape without ever committing. Whatever the truth, one thing was certain: this story wasn't ending here. It was just getting darker. By the time Claressa Shields dropped the flight receipts, the locker room photo, and that voicemail calling her baby, the internet was in absolute chaos. The Papoose-Remy love story, once held up as the pinnacle of loyalty, had collapsed in front of millions. But it wasn't just fans gossiping anymore. This had become a cultural earthquake. Fans on Twitter were split right down the middle. Some defended Remy, others dragged Papoose. And a shocking number actually supported Claressa's boldness. Remy stood by him through prison. Now this? Nah, Pap's finished. I don't even blame Claressa. She was tired of being hidden. Let her speak her truth. Loyalty king? He was loyal to the check, not the queen. On TikTok, edits went viral within hours. One creator stitched Remy proposing to Papoose back in 2011 with the leaked audio of him whispering to Claressa, captioned, "12 years of loyalty undone in 12 seconds. Another used the clown filter, showing Pap crying backstage with the caption, "When your brand is loyalty, but your receipts say otherwise." Celebrities couldn't stay silent either. 0.50 cent, never one to miss a messy opportunity, roasted Papoose on Instagram with a meme of a king chess piece falling over. Caption, "Checkmate. Claressa won." Cardi B tweeted a cryptic line. "Sometimes women break down because men played games. Sometimes men break down because women finally talk." Fans debated whether she was shading Papoose or empathizing. With Remy, even Nicki Minaj's fan base jumped in, spamming memes, dragging Remy. How you dragged Nicki for years but couldn't keep Pap loyal. The barbs were brutal. But perhaps the most surprising voice came from Fat Joe, Remy's longtime friend. On IG Live, he said, "I'm hurt for Remy. She don't deserve this. Pap was supposed to be the standard. Now the streets are looking at him sideways." His words carried weight. The streets were watching and they weren't impressed. The hip-hop industry had its own take. On The Breakfast Club, Charlemagne called it the biggest loyalty scam in hip-hop history. DJ Envy added, "This is beyond cheating. This was branding. They sold us a fairy tale while he was creeping." Meanwhile, blogs like The Shade Room and Hollywood Unlocked had their comment sections turn into full-blown battlefields. Thousands of users debated. Chrissy Lampkin waited 10 years for Jim. Remy waited through prison. These women deserve better men. Y'all acting like Claressa didn't know he was married. She played her role until it benefited her. Stop blaming Claressa. Pap made the choice. Period. Even sports media chimed in because of Claressa's involvement. ESPN hosts debated if the scandal would overshadow her boxing career. One analyst said she's proving she's not afraid of any fight inside or outside the ring. Fans joked. Claressa threw the hardest punch of her career and it landed on Papoose's reputation. But what hit hardest were the fan reactions aimed at Remy Ma. Women flooded her socials with support. Sis, we got you. Leave him. You survived prison, you can survive this. Some even started trending #StandWithRemy, demanding she drop Papoose publicly and reclaim her crown. Meanwhile, Papoose became a meme overnight. His crying face, allegedly captured by production cameras, was plastered everywhere. One viral tweet read, "From loyalty king to meme king in 24 hours." Another added, "Kendrick killed Drake's career. Claressa killed Papoose's brand." Even comedians got involved. On stage, one comic joked, "Imagine holding your woman down through a 7-year prison bid just to end up crying over a boxer. Life's wild." The crowd roared, but fans online said it was too soon. And just when it seemed the scandal couldn't escalate further, the hackers returned. On Telegram, they teased. Claressa told half the story. We have the rest. The final clip shows who really betrayed who. The message sent fans into a frenzy. What could possibly be left? Had Claressa kept even darker receipts? Or was there another betrayal in play that would shock everyone, including Claressa herself? The reactions proved one thing. The culture wasn't just watching this unfold, they were living it. Every fan, every celeb, every gossip outlet was now invested. Papoose wasn't just a man in crisis, he had become the epicenter of hip-hop's most explosive scandal of the year. And as everyone waited for the final clip, one question loomed over the chaos. Was this the end of Papoose and Remy Ma's legendary love story? Or just the beginning of its most painful chapter? Just when the dust started to settle and fans thought they had seen the worst of it, the hacker group made good on their threat. Late one night, they released what they called the final clip. And what it contained didn't just expose Papoose, it twisted the entire narrative into something no one expected. The clip opened with grainy backstage footage from a Love and Hip Hop taping. Papoose sat slumped in a chair, his head in his hands, clearly shaken. But then another figure walked into the frame. Claressa Shields herself. The room went silent as she confronted him on camera, whispering through clenched teeth. "You told me it was gonna be me. You told me you were done with her." Papoose, his voice breaking, responded, "I couldn't. It would destroy everything we built. Me and Remy, we built an empire. Without her, I'm nothing." The words hit like a bomb. If real, this wasn't just cheating, it was manipulation. Claressa had believed she was stepping into Papoose's future, while he clung to Remy for the brand, the fame, the image. The clip ended with Claressa storming out, muttering, "You betrayed me more than her." The internet detonated. Fans who had been dragging Claressa suddenly flipped. One viral tweet summed it up. "Hold up, Papoose wasn't just cheating on Remy, he was playing Claressa too." Another wrote, "This man destroyed TWO Queens for an image. He's finished." Then, like a dagger to the heart of his reputation, the hackers leaked one last receipt, a signed email allegedly between Papoose and VH1 producers, confirming that loyalty storylines would remain central to his character arc on the show. In other words, his entire brand wasn't just cracked, it was manufactured. Fans were furious. The betrayal wasn't just personal anymore, it was cultural. For years, audiences had been sold the fairy tale of Remy and Pap as hip-hop's untouchable love story. Now, it looked like they'd all been played for ratings and image. Remy's silence grew louder by the hour. Insiders whispered she had packed a bag and left their shared home. Another claimed she was preparing a public statement but was waiting for the right time to burn it all down. But the true cliffhanger came not from Remy but from Claressa. Just minutes after the hacker leak, she went live again. This time her tone was icy, her words chilling. He thought he could play both sides. He thought he could play me. But the thing about me, I don't lose fights. The next move I make won't just expose him, it'll end him. The ended abruptly, but the threat lingered like a storm cloud. Fans panicked, speculating about what Claressa meant. Did she have more footage? A physical encounter? A bigger secret tied to money, contracts, or even other women? Twitter trended with hashtag CLARESSA Part 2 within minutes. Fans begged her to reveal everything, while others warned her not to destroy Remy in the process. Industry voices weighed in too. On Hot 97, Ebro said, "This ain't just a scandal, it's a collapse. Pap went from loyalty king to conman in a week. And now we're all waiting for Claressa to throw the knockout punch." By the end of the night, one thing was certain. The fairy tale of Remy and Papoose was dead. In its place stood a crumbling empire, two broken women, and a man on the edge of ruin. And as the world held its breath, everyone asked the same chilling question. If Claressa really has one more move, what could possibly be left? That's worse than this. And there it is, the scandal that has turned the loyalty king into the biggest fraud of the year. Papoose, once celebrated as the man who never wavered, is now shattered, caught between two powerful women and exposed for building his image on lies. Claressa Shields didn't just expose a fling, she ripped the mask off an entire brand, leaving the hip-hop world questioning if we were all fooled for over a decade. We saw the texts, voicemails, the photo, and then the hacker bombshell that showed us the ugliest truth of all. Papoose wasn't just betraying Remy, he was betraying Claressa too. He clung to Remy for the empire, for the brand, for the money, while whispering promises to Claressa he never intended to keep. And now both women stand burned, one silent, one raging, and one man completely broken. But the story isn't over. Claressa's last words, "The next move I make won't just expose him, it'll end him," have left fans on edge. What else does she have? What could be worse than what we've already seen? Could she be holding on to receipts that tie Papoose's betrayal to money, contracts, or even other women? Now it's your turn. Do you think Remy already knew and stayed quiet for the brand? Was Claressa wrong for exposing everything, or was she justified after being betrayed herself? And what do you think Claressa's next move will be? Drop your theories in the comments right now. Hit that like button if you think Papoose's era as the loyalty king is officially over. And don't forget to subscribe with notifications on, because when Claressa makes her next move, it won't just be another scandal. It might be the knockout punch that ends everything. Stay tuned. The final round hasn't even started yet.